Hello, this is Ben119 and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be doing another Twilight Princess HD dungeon design video, and this is part 2 for the Arbiter's Grounds. So if you've missed part 1, I'd highly recommend watching it, because you might not know where we're up to. Basically, if you've not watched it for some reason, I've basically done the first 4 poes and unlocked the gate in the main room. As you can see right now, we got the 4th poe back. So the second half of the dungeon is actually shorter than I thought. When I first was going to do this, I was going to split it into 3 parts. Have the poe collecting as the first part, getting the spinner as the second part, then the boss as the third part. And then I realised the second and third part are both like half the length I thought they were, so I just did it as one video. So enjoy. Some of the dungeons though will be in 3 parts. One of them might even be in 4 parts. Right? So prepare for that. But this one's only in 2. So we're gonna kill these skeletons. Oh yeah, it's funny, if you do a finishing attack and he moves, you can sometimes miss and get your sword stuck. It's a bit weird. It's not a glitch. It's just funny little animation. Go through this door. And yeah, we do get the spinner in this temple. We don't use... There's no spinner tracks up until a bit later on, which is weird. We see no spinner tracks until later. So we have no idea that we'll even get the spinner. I love the spinner. I think a lot of people love the spinner. I think every Twilight Princess fan I've talked to, either their favourite item or one of their favourite items is a spinner. It's either spinner or double claw shot. There's no other item that people love. Maybe ball and chain. Ball and chain's pretty cool as well. It's a little bit underused once you've done it in Snow Peak Ruins though. Oh well. Here we go, get this key. I didn't really talk much about this room. Basically it's like a big elevator and you have to turn the middle of the room to raise the room up and down. But if you keep going up, there's just pots, there's no other chests with secrets, which is a bit of a missed opportunity, but oh well. Go all the way down to the bottom and unlock this door. So I guess if you went down first, you'd notice there's a locked door, so you have to go back up. So if you know there's a locked door already, then you're okay. This room here is pretty cool. This uses spikes again to make kind of an invisible maze. The sand in part of the room, so it's a little bit harder to get around. I'm going to play as a wolf, and the reason why I play as wolf is because of invisible rats. Remember the rats from earlier on? Really annoying invisible rats have no place in this game. I don't know why they decided to add them. They're cool though. But they're a bit weird. I don't know why they're invisible for one. This room here reminds me of the room in Goron Mines. You know the room with the lava, and then you have to pull this door thing back and then get back there before it shuts. It reminds me of that a little bit. Except you have to traverse the sand this time instead. Oh yeah, this thing goes all the way back if you don't start pulling it straight away. If you stop pulling it, it goes all the way back. Bit annoying. But well. I turn scent on and on. And I think it looks cool when it's on, because everything looks really grey, but in a way it's harder to see. Just adds to the atmosphere though of a lot of dark places. Got through, very nice. And this is the first instance of spinner tracks, so I don't think we even use these spinner tracks unless you decide to backtrack here. But I guess it just shows that things can travel on them. So then when you get the spinner, you might get the idea to use it on one of these tracks, because those spikes look a bit similar to a spinner. And right here, this is really stupid. Uku is here. But this is quite near the end of the dungeon. It's like 2/3 into the dungeon. I don't get why they put him this far into the dungeon. I think with Uku, he should always be in the first quarter of the dungeon, or even right near the start. Because the whole point is that you can walk back to certain rooms. Say if you're playing and you don't have time to finish the dungeon, or you just fancy taking a break, you can save the game, and then when you return, you're able to return back to that exact room with him. But to get to this point, you've got to go pretty far anyway, and the rest of the dungeon's quite linear from this point. So I don't get why they put him here. They could have put him in the main room with the torches. That would have been a better place to put him, but oh well. They could have just put a little chest there of rupees. Even though I probably complain at that as well, because rupees are pointless in this game. To an extent. Oh, I got hit by that thing. You can roll underneath it to be cool, but I'm just going to follow it around like a casual. There's loads of skulls on that ground. It makes me think loads of people have died from it. There's even some skulls that are attached to the spinning spikes. Oh yeah, this is another instance of bugs. This will probably be the first time you get grabbed by them. They don't damage you at all, but they slow you down a lot. And if it was real life, I'd absolutely hate to have all them on me. I think the best way to get them off is spin attack. Yeah, if you try jumping that gap while they're on you, you won't have enough speed to get across. There we go, to the mini boss. Now this mini boss here, I think had a lot of wasted potential. It looks really cool. It's like an invisible sword. It's just a sword at first. But then when you realise there's something holding that sword and you can just kill it as a wolf, it just turns into a really stupid fight and it's pretty damn easy. So, as you can see, it's like a floating sword. And I think what would have been good is kind of like a Dark Link fight. It would have been good if this sword like mirrored your moves. You had to fight some kind of big invisible enemy, or it only became visible at certain points, which is kind of what the first phase is. But once you use the scent, it makes it really easy. All you do is wait for him to attack, and then you just fight him like a Poe. It's that easy. So the first bit is done already. And now he's not even invisible, so the whole concept of an invisible sword fighting you is just gone. And the way you kill him, you use the bow. That is weird because bow isn't even the dungeon item. I think the dungeon item or the item before should always be the item you should use in a fight. I know bow's a good item as well. All you do, you shoot him once. When he's circling you, you try and shoot him again, and then you attack him with your sword. That's how easy it is. It's ridiculously easy. I still think he looks really cool though. He's a really cool looking boss. I just think there's a lot of wasted potential. They could have created some kind of invisible sword fight thing. That would have been a really cool fight to have with a spinner. There you go. That's how easy it is. He's dead. I took no damage. It's a bit like the Goron Mines boss. Such an easy boss that you'll probably not even take damage. There you go. He's dead. I'm sure what he's supposed to be. Supposed to be some kind of big Poe. Yeah, like all the things floated up there. That makes sense. Right, so go through here. And we jump down and we think, oh, how do we get out? There'll be no way of getting out other than saving and quit. But no, you can get out once you get the dungeon item, once you realise what it is. What could it be? Oh, it's a spinner. And the spinner is one of the best items in the game, like I was saying. You can use it on these tracks, but the only problem with it is you can only really use it on the tracks. And other than this dungeon, and in a few secret places in Harold Field, you'll probably never use it again. Use it once or twice in the Temple of Time, a few times in City in the Sky, I think once in Bowser's, not Bowser's, Ganondorf's castle. Why am I saying Bowser's? I've been playing too much Mario 64. Oh, it's Ganondorf's castle. So yeah, you can use the spinner on these tracks, and you can use it on this track here. You'll probably see the track as soon as you come out the door, so you'll be like, oh, why not? I've not been here before. Get up here. It's a really cool item to use. It's a lot of fun if you've never used it before. Just going between tracks, swapping tracks. You can go across the sand as well. As you can see, it makes traversing the whole temple a lot easier, because you can go straight across the sand. It's really nice. There you go, got some bombs. There's 3 little chests in this room, and there's 2 big chests, and the 2 big chests have heart piece and a stamp, and they are the easiest it's the easiest heart piece and the easiest stamp in the game because they're both in plain sight, and it's probably harder to avoid them than to get them. I think they should have hidden the heart piece here. They should have swapped this little chest with the heart piece chest, because this is more hidden, I swear. And it's 10 rupees as well. 10 rupees is pathetic for that chest. That's probably the most hidden chest in the temple, and it's only 10 rupees. So it's right here, the heart piece chest. Literally right there. There's no way of missing that unless you're blind. But if you're blind while you play in a video game that requires you to need to know where to go, rely on seeing things. You know what I'm trying to say. Oh yeah, this guillotine, you have to time this guillotine. This is harder to time, getting the heart piece. All you do is walk up to the chest, open it, and get a heart piece. The map is harder to get than that heart piece. It's ridiculous. But yeah, this is really cool. You get to fly across tracks. Some of the tracks make you go really fast, some are just slow. Go straight into this section. It's really cool. This chest here is slightly more hidden, I guess, because you actually have to go around the side for it, but you'll probably have the compass and see it anyway. It's a stamp. Yep, probably the easiest stamp you'll ever get. So yeah, it's cool. This section's cool. I like this section here because it requires a lot of skill with the spinner. But the one thing I don't like about it is sometimes they're in such a pattern that they're impossible to dodge. But right there I got quite lucky and I dodged them all. Go, roll into the door because I'm a noob. Go through here. And there is the boss key chest. And if you go across the spinner tracks, it leads back to... You'll know what room it is. I'm not sure how to describe the room, but you'll know what room it is when I go across. There you go. Boss key, or the big key, or whatever you want to call it. So you go, I'm just showing you the map. We've got every single chest in the map now. So we can just head straight to the boss door. We've got everything we need. So you go inside this little hole here with the spinner. And you basically mash the spinner button. I'm a bit rubbish at mashing because I set it to R, and R is really annoying to mash on the Wii U Pro Controller. I should have maybe set it to X or Y, I could have mashed faster. There we go. It basically moves the wall around, but it blocks off the room on the right there, so I guess you haven't done everything in there, you'll have to return it. There you go, you can go up this room here, and this is another instance of the spinner being really fun to use. I think I tried to jump across too early. Yeah, I did, because I'm a noob. Go. And this boss, if you've not seen this boss before, is probably the most fun boss. I wouldn't say it's the best boss in the game, but it's one of the most fun. Wait, playing it for the first time. Once you played it a few times, it's still fun, but it's not quite the same. There you go. Go inside the spinner hole. And mash the spinner button. And basically this massive spinner track appears. It goes up to the very top of the room. But right here, I think I end up dying because I jumped down in the sand. Because I could just get on the spinner track now, but I always like riding it from the bottom. Because it doesn't feel the same just riding it from there. Yeah, I got stuck in the sand. You can see what happens now. You basically just sink and then you die. You can't use items like the spinner while you're in the sand. You can use things like a claw shot. So if there was a claw shot target, I could have saved myself. You just respawn back where the nearest door is, which is pretty cool. Go back across. Yeah, this is another instance where you'll need to use spinner on sand. Yeah, I pressed spinner button too late. Link can be annoying ledge grabbing stairs if it's around the corner. You have to be straight. Like that. Use the spinner again. And now I get to show off this bit. So if you use spinner, there you go, look at that. It's a roller coaster. How does Link even stay on the spinner? I don't know how he doesn't fall off. Imagine falling off that and just losing the spinner and dying. There you go, boss door. I think I've got Rare Choo Choo Jelly and Great Fairy's Tears. So I will not even lose that much health, I don't think. But if for some reason I do, I've got that as a backup. Even though I know I don't because this is pre-recorded. I don't know, I think with Twilight Princess, especially if you're getting all the possible heart pieces before each dungeon, you should never run out of health. You'll have plenty of health. Like, I've got 11 hearts at this point. And even if I play on the hard mode, I still won't run out because I know the boss quite well. So it's basically this big skeleton that's dead. And Zant brings it back to life. And the first phase is a little bit underwhelming, it's a bit weird. It's a little bit glitchy even in places. I'm not a fan of the first phase, but the second phase is amazing. And you'll see why in a minute. So you go, brings skeleton back to life. And I guess it's a theme throughout this dungeon. There's been lots of skeleton enemies. There's been Stalfos. There's been the little skeleton heads. There's been loads of dead things, like the mini boss, for example, and Pose. There's been loads of dead enemies. Oh yeah, re-deads as well, of course. Oh yeah, the little Stalfos. There's been pretty much every enemy in this dungeon has been something that's dead. We've got rats as well, the invisible rats, which maybe are like zombie rats. So here we go. I think his name is Stallord. I'm not sure, let's see. What was it, Link? Yeah, Stallord. Twilight Fossil. Will it? I don't know what that says. I don't know what it says. I just wasn't paying attention. Okay, yeah, the spinner is a little bit glitchy on this track. I don't know why. There you go, see, I used it and I went up instead of down. But basically you just have to attack that part of his body each time with a spinner. Knock him down, you do it 3 times, obviously. Because that's literally a rule with video games, you have to do it 3 times. I don't know why that's a rule. I think it just came from like arcade games having like 3 lives or whatever. Most bosses you literally have to do the same thing 3 times. I don't know why it's 3, not 1 or 2 or 4. I don't know. It's really annoying if you get stuck on the sand, because it's really annoying to get back up. I don't know, you can't really sink, but I wish there was just an easier way of getting back out. I wish once you use the spinner, you were just at full speed the whole time. Oh yeah, I got hit there, because that spike has no respect for humans. we go, you spinner again, knock him down. I think on the third one it's slightly harder because his body's lowered down, so you might hit him. It's like a big game of pinball. Link's just having fun with all this. He doesn't even care, it's a big boss and his life is at risk, hugely. He's just having fun, you know, just playing on a spinner. Look at this, spinner track, killing all these dead things. Really cool boss. Even this phrase that people seem to like. I don't know. He's really cool looking. I wish he attacked you a bit more in this first phase. And it's a bit easier to get him. These things block you a bit. There you go. So if you're first playing this, you might think this is the whole fight. But when I first played it, I knew that there was more to come. Mainly because the sand sinks down and you see spinner tracks on the wall. Plus there's no victory music. You don't get a heart container straight away. And I could just tell that it wasn't done yet because it felt a little bit easy to be the main boss. As you can see, the whole arena just drains out. I don't know how it's draining out. I don't think there's any holes at the bottom. And in the middle, there is a spinner switch thing, spinner hole, I guess you could call it. Just mash the crouch button, spinner button or whatever it is, and the whole platform will rise up. And as you can see on this middle platform here, there's spiraling spinner tracks, and you can probably already work out what you're gonna have to do. So you think you've won and everything, and then you turn around, he's alive, he knocks you down, oh no. I don't even know if you lose any health from this. You might do. Here, he knocks you all the way down. You should be dead. Look at how high that was. Like an 8-story building. Really high. There you go on the spinner, and as you can see, we're going so fast. We're just climbing the entire room. And we can just switch between both tracks when we get to him. I remember first playing this, and I was just amazed by this fight. With how cool it was. So we can just jump between. You have to dodge the fireballs. This first phase is pretty easy. Just dodge them. Now one thing I do find a little bit annoying about this is the fact that sometimes it can be impossible to dodge. Like right there, no matter how fast I jumped, I would have got hit guaranteed. I think it was partly my fault for not timing the jump before it. But I think it's a little bit stupid how that can happen. It's still a really cool fight. The music goes really well with it. I think it's the same music as the Dongo fight in Ocarina of Time, but slightly different. Bit theme. Going across, fireballs. Go, knock him out, and then you just attack him as much as you can. Now, there is a one cycle you can do on him. Now, I know how to do the one cycle on him, but I didn't want to do one cycle because I wanted to show you the rest of the fight. So once you go back up here, it gets a lot harder because there's spikes on here now. So not only do you have to worry about dodging him, but you have to keep track of where the spikes are and then dodge them when they come around to you. So you have to be thinking about several things at once. Like right there, I had to dodge. If I'd stayed on, I would have just got hit and fell off. If you go too slow, the spike behind you will get you. So there we go. Here he is. Firing out fire. Jumping between spinner tracks. We do. It's important you don't jump too much because you'll get too low down and then you'll obviously be at the bottom and you won't have any more height. So you want to keep your height, but at the same time you don't want to get hit. Here we go. I didn't hit him anymore because I knew I think he only had 1 HP left and I would show off the final phase. So right here, there are spikes on this side and there's spikes on the spinner tracks on the outside as well. Now I got quite lucky patterns here, but I've done this before and I've had to keep just jumping between them all the time. I got very lucky in this clip here. I think I got knocked down again, which is annoying. I think it's kind of my fault, but sometimes it's the game's fault, sometimes it's my fault. We'll have to see what happens. Just jump in between them. Yeah, jumped. Yeah, that was kind of my fault. Get back on. You get knocked down, you just have to get back up again and go at it. There's no point just lying there. Just get back up, get back on your spinner and keep climbing. And I don't know, you have to go quite far for him to appear, which is weird. You have to go quite, I guess it's just making sure you have enough height before you get to him, so then you don't lose his height. Here we go, here he is. Wait for him to breathe out. Fireballs, just keep dodging. Go dodge again. Now when you're on the platforms on the outside, you don't gain height, so you want to be in the middle as much as possible. Well, that can be quite hard when you're trying to dodge fireballs. And final hit, there we go, he's dead. Really cool boss. Especially when you first play it. Even if you played it a few times, it's still fun. It's not quite the same though, as when you first play it. Obviously it's amazing when you first play it because you've not really used the spinner much. You get to use the spinner like loads in this fight. So there we go. That is Arbiter's Grounds done. In my opinion, a really good dungeon. I'd probably put it at 3rd or 4th out of my favourites. After this series, I'm probably going to make a top 9 dungeons for Twilight Princess because there's 9 dungeons. So you'll have to see that list. My opinions may vary once I do the next few dungeons. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. And we're going to get 12 hearts now. So we'll have 13 hearts when we get to Snow Peak because we'll get some more heart pieces in between. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you're new around here. If you enjoyed that, please leave a comment and stay tuned for Snow Peak Ruins.